Hi, boys and girls. My name is Buddy Davis, and we're here at the Creation Museum at the Petting Zoo. We have some wonderful animals here at the zoo, and we're going to take a look at some of the unique design that God has created in these animals. I can't wait to get started, so let's go.
He created the parrot, the horse and the dog, the possum, the platypus, and hoppity frog, the long-necked giraffe with his head in the trees, the fish, the octopus, and clams in the sea. It's the greatest variety you'll ever find, all things created after their kind. It's the greatest variety you'll ever find, all things created after their kind. He created the dinosaurs, big and some small, the camels, the hippos, and the creatures that crawl, the goose who flies south before the winter snow, the elephant that packs his trunk and it never goes. It's the greatest variety you'll ever find, all things created after their kind. It's the greatest variety you'll ever find, all things created after their kind. He created the eagle, the beaver, the bear, the swift eel in the water, the turtle and hare, the monkeys in the trees swinging way up high. But his greatest creation was you and I. It's the greatest variety you'll ever find, all things created after their kind. It's the greatest variety you'll ever find, all things created after their kind. It's the greatest variety you'll ever find, all things created after their kind. It's the greatest variety you'll ever find, all things created after their kind.
I'd like for you to meet my friend Josh. He's an expert in caring for all the animals here at the petting zoo. Hi, Josh.
Hi, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Hey, would you show us some of the wonderful animals that you have here?
Sure. Let's go over and start with my friend Gomer the camel.
Very good.
Easy.
Josh, could you explain some of the amazing details that God placed in the camel to help it to survive in the desert condition?
Sure, buddy. Sure. Gomer here has a lot of special features. Let's start right down here at his nose. Yeah. You can see his nostrils here, they open and close kind of like ours do, but he can actually almost seal his almost completely shut to seal out any sand during the windstorms they have there in the desert. This allows him just enough air to actually breathe, but it still allows him to stay cool and keep the sand out of his face. Working up his face, we have all these extra hairy eyelashes here. Those work to keep the sand out of his eyes, as well as this little extra roll of fat you can see on his eyebrow.
Oh, I see. Kind of like the bill of a hat.
Exactly. That's exactly what it does. It shades his eye and provides almost a constant shadow over his eyes, so it helps him see a little better. He also has, up here, if you can see his ears, a lot of extra hair in there.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It's not because he's old. It's just a feature God's given him so that he can keep the sand out of his ears when he's roaming around in the desert.
That's pretty amazing.
It's very amazing. There's a lot more amazing things about camels, though, buddy. Let me climb inside here with Gomer, and I'll show you a few more cool things about him.
Let's do it.
Okay.
As the old saying goes, camels are a man's best friend. Well, not really. But let me tell you, they'd be your best friend in the desert. They can carry up to 900 pounds, which means you and your stuff could go for a ride. And God made them perfectly adapted for the extreme desert weather. Imagine 120 degrees in the day and only 10 degrees at night. Not a big deal for the camel. They can survive in this big, overgrown sandbox without food for up to 14 days. They can go without water for weeks thanks to a wonderful storage device called fat. Yep, God made camels to keep all those extra pounds inside of that hump on their back, so when their body isn't getting food in its tummy, well, it's getting food out of that hump. Plus, fat to food transfer known as metabolism generates heat. which is why it was designed to go on the hump on their back, keeping their body core low in temperature because the heat will rise right off the hump. Cool. Literally, what a wonderful design. When you feed them, it's like filling up a big gas tank that will keep them running anywhere in the desert. And all the deserts in the world would be a perfect place to ride them. You could even ride one all the way to the Great Pyramids of Egypt. Isn't that amazing? God created the camel kind on day 6 of Creation Week, and didn't God do a wonderful job when He created this animal that we call the camel?
Well, buddy, let's look at first here at Gomer's knees. He has these little patches on the fronts of his knees.
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
That's so when he sits down, he doesn't tear his skin open on the harsh sand of the desert.
All right.
So, Gomer also has what they call in sheep and goats a brisket under here. It's a hard bony plate so that when he lays down, he doesn't crush his lungs and he can still breathe while he's laying down on the ground.
Well, that's quite a design feature, wouldn't you say?
I would say. But the best thing about Gomer is his feet. They're almost as big as yours, buddy.
Wow.
It kind of makes you think of snowshoes, doesn't it?
It's sure, they're round.
That's you got any idea why God would put them like that?
I think God would have done that to keep it from sinking in the desert sand, just like snowshoes will keep you up.
You're exactly right. It spreads his weight out very well. As a matter of fact, Gomer here has stepped on my feet many times, and it hasn't hurt once yet.
You know, I've always heard it said that camels had a split hoof, but that is not a split hoof, is it?
Not really. No, it's not even a hoof at all. It's actually two toes.
Wow, and it's got a pad underneath it similar to an elephant.
Exactly. It's just like a big leather shoe.
Wow. Josh, I see that Gomer has only one hump on his back. I always thought that camels had 2 humps.
Well, buddy, they're both true. There's actually 2 kinds of camels. Gomer here, with the one hump, is called a dromedary. Bactrian camels have 2 humps. Now, most people think the hump stores water, but it's really just a large deposit of fat that holds food and energy for several days.
I heard from 5 to 7 days. Is that true?
That's what is typically believed, but it can actually be a lot longer depending on the climate conditions.
Wow, there are a lot of cool features about the camel, Josh, but what about the llama here? They kind of look a little bit like a camel. Could they be related?
Yeah, buddy, the camels and the llamas are all part of the same animal kind, along with alpacas and the wild vicuñas and guanacos of South America.
Llamas are very smart and useful animals. The brave male llama will protect its herd of sheep or goats just like it would be members of its own family, and it drives off the predators. Llamas are smart enough to recognize the difference between little friendly Spot the family dog or a hungry coyote who wants a sheep snack. Llamas will spit just like a camel, but when raised correctly, they rarely spit at humans, and I'm glad of that. Depending on the message they want to tell their llama friends, they can spit saliva or stomach juices. Yuck! The main difference between llamas and their cousin the alpaca is the quality of the wool. Llamas are kept mainly as working animals, whereas, well, the alpaca is kept for its ability to make great wool. Farmers shear the alpaca up to 5 times per year. The wool is great for making clothing because the hair fibers are hollow and oil-free. Remember, llamas are smart, useful, and curious animals. And wouldn't it be fun to have a llama? Well, God created the land animal kinds on day 6 of creation. We'll be back in a few minutes to talk to Josh about some more of the animals that he has here at the petting zoo. See you later, Josh.
Buddy, do you know what my favorite animal is?
What's your favorite animal?
The llama, as long as he doesn't spit.
Dogs are lovable, huggable, washable, watchable, little furry friends. They come in all shapes and sizes and many breeds and crossbreeds. But every dog loves to get attention except the prairie dog, which really isn't a dog at all. The real dogs are great companions. They are loyal and full of love and fun for the whole family. They love to make you happy, which means you can train them to do all sorts of things, from hunting to fetching to helping people with special needs. Hey, dogs are right there for you, even if you just want to squirt them with water. It's absolutely amazing how God has made them to communicate in, well, so many ways. Just ask any dog owner and they'll tell you how their dog feels, if they are sad or happy, excited, bored. Have you ever gotten a dog kiss? They love to lick, so watch out unless you like that sort of thing. Dogs don't sweat, they pant. Did you know this is letting heat out of their body when they're hot? Yep, God designed them that way. Dogs will go anywhere with you and can be found just about everywhere in this world. Dogs show their devotion and affection by being with you and doing whatever you want to do. If you want to dress them up and make them look all nice and pretty, they'll soak up the attention and show off their great looks. Dogs love to go to new places, explore new things, and meet new people. They'll be your best friend for sure. So if you want to take a hike and enjoy nature, hey, make sure you bring your dog. They love to explore the wonderful world that God's made for us. Don't you just love dogs? One of my favorite animal kinds that God created is certainly dogs. I just love dogs. You know, dogs are dogs regardless whether it's a wolf or whether it's a dingo or whether it's a little chihuahua. They're all of the dog kind. And I sure do have a warm heart for a real cold nose.
I got a warm heart for a real cold nose, a tail that wags wherever it goes. Dogs are man's best friend, and I want you to know I got a warm heart for a real cold nose. God made the dog kind on day 6. Adam named the pooches, did he teach them tricks? Did they roll over and fetch his sticks? When Adam said good, was his face licked? Yuck. I got a warm heart for a real cold nose, a tail that wags wherever it goes. Dogs are man's best friend, and I want you to know I got a warm heart for a real cold nose. They come in every shape and size, tall, short, skinny, and some are wide. Some ears stand up and some droop down. God put variety in our hounds. Well, I got a warm heart for a real cold nose, a tail that wags wherever it goes. Dogs are man's best friend, and I want you to know I got a warm heart for a real cold nose. Some snouts are long and some are pugs. Some heads are round, some eyes are bugs. Some hair is short, some long and fluffy. God designed love inside of your puppy. Well, I got a warm heart for a real cold nose, a tail that wags wherever it goes. Dogs are man's best friend, and I want you to know I got a warm heart for a real cold nose. Some dogs are famous like Rin Tin Tin, Snoopy, Lassie, and Beethoven. Some dogs are pure and some are mixed. In a fallen world, dogs are home for fleas and ticks. Well, I got a warm heart for a real cold nose, a tail that wags wherever it goes. Dogs are man's best friend, and I want you to know I got a warm heart for a real cold nose. But my favorite dogs in the canine tree are Buffy and Casey, they belong to me. From the wolf to the poodle, dogs are dogs, you know. And I got a warm heart for a real cold nose.
Genesis 1:10 through 13. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, Let the earth bring forth vegetation, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth vegetation, and herb yielding seed after its kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after its kind. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. Genesis 1:10-13.